And for me, closing out a year is a big deal. This year, I decided to do something a little bit different. Anything that I do, I always have an intentionality to it. I've got a direction I'm heading. I've got a purpose and a mission. I really want to speak raw to you. I want to speak truth to you because the whole goal is for us to not repeat where we are. And it is the foundation that we lay. It's very simple. What you lay into your foundation is what you build. And it's called a life imperative. And it's something that you really take a look at where you are, and everything about your life, you pick it up and you analyze it and you lay it on what would be kind of like a chopping block. And you got to really speak truth to yourself about it. You can't fantasize about what you see. You got to look at it real and raw. You got to tell the truth, speak the truth about it, and then you got to make a decision. And then that decision ends up being something that you've got to decide. Are you taking that with you? Are you going to allow that to be part of what is the foundation for the next year? Is it something that's been, profitable for you, fruitful? Has it helped you? Has it hurt you? Is it something that, man, you're just exhausted and tired, so you're just like, you know what? This just drains me, okay? It's not something that's giving me a benefit in my life. It needs to go. But it's also about making those decisions as well as to what needs to now be added. And so the first thing I want to do is I want to look at the definition of what foundation means. Okay, I'm going to go kind of technical, and I'm going to kind of use a house as a way of explaining what foundation is and how there's actually 3 steps of a foundation. And as I'm telling you this and talking about the definition and talking about what a foundation is and the significance of a house, I want you to be thinking about that analogy and apply it to your life. The definition of a foundation is that the foundation is to produce the basic ideas or structure from which something larger can be developed on it. To lay a foundation before you can even get to the 3-step fold, guess what you got to do? You must first clear the property from debris before you can start. Man, and when I think of life, and we're going to be building this life imperative, the first thing we must do before we start to even talk about what we're going to lay, we got to clear all the debris. We got to clear all the crap. I'm just going to be direct. Okay, all the nonsense, all the things that are no good, all the trash. I'm just going to say it. All the rubble, all the rocks, all the pieces that would cause you, if you were laying down a foundation, to not have what is so needed, a smooth foundation. And so right off the bat, we need to assess what is in our life. What's in our life? What's happening in our life? What's happening even in things in our head? Things that are happening maybe when we look at our relationships, friendships, our career, our job, our bank account, our health. Okay, everything important to us, everything that should be important to us. This is where you've got to clear out, which means already you're removing things. Already you're having to look at things and make a decision and decide, does this add to you or does it deplete you? Okay, now the 3-fold process here. The very first thing on the 3-fold process is going to be what's called the footing is done first. This is laid down. Footings are the most important part of a foundation construction. The purpose of a footing is, number 1, to support the foundation. Remember, we're talking about life, but we're using foundation. What are the things that we need to have laid down that are going to support what you're trying to build? Okay, the next one is that it'll prevent it from settling. That means what are things now we need to lay down to prevent it from having some settling and some cracks already in what we're laying down. Okay, we maybe need to lay those things down. And again, we had to clear the lot. Maybe you forgot some things and now you're realizing you need to get rid of it right there. And then the other part of a footing and the benefit and why it's the most important part of a foundation, it's crucial, is because it provides the proper support for the foundation, which ultimately affects the whole structure. So you've got one part of this footing that supports the foundation, but this part supports the structure that you're about to build. Foundation, structure. Okay, so again, what are you laying down? What you're laying down and we're about to start pouring, are they things that are going to support the foundation that are going to prevent it from having cracks and settling, which is big, huge issues, or ultimately affect the whole building of the structure you're about to build. We only want to lay down things that are going to support and create and protect those things. The next part is now the foundation we're going to pour. This is actually a cement foundation, and I hope you see that. Sometimes we try to pour a foundation before we even do the first part. Woo, come on, that was good. Sometimes we're already trying to pour something down and we hadn't even cleared the lot, or we didn't even lay down the things first. And I'm going to tell you, we're going to talk about it. Those things are principles. The footings are principles. I'm just going to go ahead and give you the cheat sheet right now. Okay, but then now we're laying down the foundation. This is poured. The first one is lay down. The second one is what you're pouring into it. First, you're laying it down, and then now, what are you pouring into it? Okay, a foundation, when we're building a house, is the next most crucial element. Regardless of how big or how tiny what you're gonna build, it doesn't matter, it is crucial. If the house is not built on a stable foundation, the foundation will break within time, causing harm to the house's internal and external. My God, I just got chills. Woo! Come on, I'm onto something. That means not only on the inside with our heart and our mind and the way we think, yeah, I'm gonna go there, but also on the outside physically. That means now if we're not okay, we're breaking inside, we're not stable, and now we've got all these things happening that are harming us. What do you think is gonna happen out in your life? That's the external. It is going to do the exact same thing. And it continues on. A home foundation is the load-bearing portion of the structure. So when we pour this foundation, how good it is and how solid it is, man, one of the other reasons why it needs to be right and good and healthy is because it's gonna be what bears the biggest load and the proportion of everything. It's what everything is going to sit on. It is to carry and hold and bear that weight. Typically, it's built below the ground. Woo, kind of like a seed, huh? At a minimum, any house foundation must do these three things well. This is just what's being poured. It must do these three things. Support the structure above, keep out groundwater so water can't get in and start to mess up your foundation, which means it never solidifies. Oh my gosh. Woo! And then act, here it is, as a barrier, protection, a wall between not only water, but any type of soil vapor, bad stuff. It must be deeply rooted. Okay, and then last, the third part of a foundation, now that we've got the footings laid down, now that we're pouring in the right foundation and pouring it down underneath so that it can be rooted, secured, protect, and be a wall, okay? Now it's time for the next piece. It's the framing of the house. This we build. So the first one we lay, the second one we pour into. What we're pouring into. What are we laying down? That is our footing that we're standing on. What are we pouring in? Okay, and then what are we building? All these things affect what is created, what the end result is. What you lay down, what you pour into it, and how deep you pour, and be careful what you pour into it. And then what you now have your structure, the structure. All of those three things affects the end result of what you're trying to create. So the framing of the house, we build this, okay, is a construction. This is now all the work that goes into. This is construction is work. This is the effort. This is the, all of the sweat and the tears and the all day long. Man, this is where the biggest part. This is the fitting together of the pieces, all your pieces coming together to give a structure. And in that, it has a purpose to support a shape, to create something. Framing materials are usually solid. They are wood, they're engineer wood, or they are, here's mine, this is me. I want steel. Come on. I've seen what happens to wood. I know the Three Little Pigs. Huff and puff, come on, I want steel. Okay, so this is now your frame. So now we've got that. That's what it takes. When we talk about laying the foundation, what we lay, it's a threefold process. And I want you to take a second and think about now, how does that apply to your life? How does that apply to what you're going to do next year? How does that apply now as you're looking through and analyzing, checking your inventory, making some hardcore decisions now? Because if you keep it and it stinks, it's going to break your house. Okay, so here we go. We're going to recap it. One, because it's the primary purpose, the foundation. It supports the load of the entire building. It is a well-designed, strong foundation that keeps the building standing. I'll say that again. Having a strong foundation, the three folds, will allow it to be well-designed. It will be a strong foundation that will keep the building strong while the forces of nature and life wreak havoc. Come on, that's our adversary. Come on, please tell me I watched all my episodes. Okay, that's the adversary. And this also includes earthquakes, floods, droughts, frost heaves, tornadoes, winds, and severe storms. To me, this is all the things that life throws at you. This is all the things that can come and tear up your stuff, your life. These are all of the challenges that we're going to face every day. All the adversities that we're going to have to learn how to face those, bear those, and persevere. And to know that we've got the victory. It's written that way. That's why your foundation, what you're laying in your life, what you're stepping on, what you're allowing to be poured into your head and your mind and your thoughts means you're pouring it into your foundation. And then what you're building. And if you're so busy building what you see in the world, what are you building? That's not even yours. That's the world's. Again, everything clicks together. The next one, a well-built foundation keeps, here it is, the occupants of the building safe during calamities such as, again, earthquakes, floods, strong winds, etc. So we got the first one is to secure what you're creating, your life. But the other reason why solid foundation is needed is because it protects the occupants that's living in that life. Hey superheroes, it's TA, your Interpreneur Coach. So excited you were able to join me again today for another empowering superhero video. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like and share the video. And turn on that notification so that you never miss another episode. And I look forward to seeing you again as we suit up to unleash the superhero within for victory.